health account. So again, that's my take in reference to the crystal. And at this point, I want to bring in my special guest, William Lee Rand. You're on the show with us, William?
Listening.
Yes, hi there, William.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. Again, I did introduction to you at the beginning of the show, and you've been at this for a long time. You're probably one of the pioneers here in the United States in reference to Reiki. And, please introduce yourself and tell us about Reiki.
Sure. My name is William Lee Rand, and I've been working with Reiki energy since 81. I've been teaching since 89. And even prior to that, actually, I was deeply involved in the metaphysical studies, and I had been previously an astrologer, hypnotherapist, did past life regression therapy, neurolinguistic programming, rebirthing, and, worked with a shaman, a kahuna, in Hawaii for over a year. So, I got a background, and very interested and going full blast here. I've been teaching full-time around the world for over 20 years, and still going strong. We've got a magazine, a research center, membership association, and so very much involved with Reiki and generally in energy-type therapies. So,
all right, William.
Yep.
As you heard, and I really appreciate, I really thank you because of your background and you coming and doing our show. We try to get really good people out there, and again, it's the flow of energy, I created this series, the 36 flows of energy systems, to show, because my whole thing is with healthcare, and to show people that there's many layers. And right now, we might know of 4, 5, or 7 layers in reference to detoxification, organic food, and then also exercise and eating nutrients and the right food. But again, as this is showing, there's 36 other layers, and there's probably hundreds of other layers, but this is more common. So talking in reference to energy, I think Reiki isn't the same thing. Isn't that like a flow of energy through the body?
It is a type of energy. We call it life energy or life force energy.
Mm-hmm.
There's some question, though, about whether or not it is a electromagnetic energy,
yes,
or if it's an energy that science has not yet discovered. So some people think it's electromagnetic, but others have studied it and can't find an electromagnetic component to it. So, that's kind of open for further research to really decide what is Reiki energy, what type of energy is it. So, but we do know it does exist, and there are scientific studies that indicate that it does have, therapeutic value. So that's the important thing, that it does help us. It's been established scientifically.
Now, Qigong, you're aware of it, right?
Qigong, yes.
Yeah, Qigong. What was interesting that the masters back in China, when they had them, and they had researchers there, and and I've seen on YouTube, which is everyone should probably definitely go look at. It's pretty incredible. You can find anything on YouTube, and you can go to Qigong, and basically it was pretty amazing how the master would give his energy, and the people's muscles and stuff would start shaking, and start quivering like a tense machine, like one of those muscle stimulators. But what was interesting was that they realized it wasn't electrical and it wasn't magnetic either. So it's like you're saying, it's an unknown energy source that they don't know, but they know what it does. Is that the same thing?
Yeah, that's
what you're
right.
saying?
Science has not necessarily discovered it yet.
Yes.
And so it's on the border. I guess you'd call it a fringe energy or something. But it's fine. We know that it does work and it produces results. So that's what's important to us.
William, and here's the other thing, which is, again, just because scientists hasn't discovered something much like acupuncture, and it does work. Now they realize that there is flows, and scientifically they have proven that. There is, streams of energy through the body. What was interesting that on one of the science shows, they had unexplained phenomena, and they were talking about this pyramid in Russia, and it was like 2 to 3 times the size of the Giza pyramid. And what was interesting was that they were reading the energy source, right? And what they found on the tip, on the the summit, the tip of the pyramid, they found some weird energy. Our scientists picked up some weird energy, and they didn't know it wasn't electromagnetic, and again, it wasn't electrical, but it was some energy that their instruments were picking up. Now, with the drones, these little helicopters, they were able to mount these instruments and to see how high or whatever the energy goes up. And what was astounding was that this flow of energy, it increased as it went up, which is not normal to science. That something does not get stronger as it gets away from the source. And they also mentioned that they tested, or they went out there on 91 pyramids throughout the world, and 88 of them had the same energy coming from the tip of the pyramid. So here we are, talking about on phenomenon energy. We don't know what it is. Science still hasn't figured out, and I guess it all goes along with Reiki, just because we can't see whatever, but we know the functions of it. Isn't that interesting?
It is interesting. And, with Reiki, Reiki energy, Reiki practice, and so forth, we do have people who are very sensitive to it. So you might say the human body itself is an instrument. Mm-hmm. And different people have varying degrees of sensitivity. And so what we want to do, of course, is find those who are the most sensitive and have the best way of expressing themselves. Some people are very aware, but they can't quite put it into words. But, we look for people who are both. They have both. They can express themselves clearly, and they're very sensitive. So in working with that, we see that there are ever higher frequencies of Reiki energy. One thing about Reiki, though, it's a combination of energies. A ray and ki, those are two different concepts, and they're brought together in one word, Reiki. So the ki is actually life energy or life force energy, which flows through all living things, and everything that's alive has it. But then the ray segment is actually a wisdom that comes down from a very high spiritual level of consciousness and then guides the ki. Now, under normal circumstances, our ki can be subject to all sorts of energies. And as an example, if you have positive thoughts, your ki actually gets stronger. If you have negative thoughts, it gets weaker. And so you find both negative and positive thoughts affect the mind, and also negative and positive feelings. But with Reiki is not affected by the mind at all. It's being guided directly by this very high level of consciousness. So because of that, it can go in and do the healing. So that's one of the valuable aspects of Reiki. It's a special energy coming from a high level of consciousness.
So it bypasses you. Even if you don't believe in it, it will bypass you as well, because it's a different level, like a different
that is
state.
One of the interesting things about Reiki. People don't necessarily have to believe in it. It's not based on belief. Like some things, called the placebo effect. If you believe in it, that's really why it works. But with Reiki, all the person has to do is be willing to try it. They don't have to believe in it, and then they feel the effect of it. So it's very convincing for people, and that's one of the ways we really let people know about it. You can describe it, and intellectualize about it, but it's really the experience. So just giving someone a session, then they go, oh, now I get it. Now I understand what Reiki is. So, it does bypass the mind, and it's not based on belief.
So also, too, though, wouldn't it make sense that if somebody, and I've listened to your videos, by the way, everyone, you should definitely, please tell everyone, and we'll talk about your video. Please tell us about your website, and we'll say towards the end as well. What is your website so people can look at a great video that you have there, a lot of videos?
The website is Reiki.org. Very simple, Reiki.org. And we've got a lot of free information, free downloads, and we have several hundred free articles on Reiki. There's Reiki stories. There's lots of information. It's jam-packed. In all of our combined websites, we have over 1,000 web pages. So it's all content-intensive. In other words, it's very useful information, not just fluff. That's our pages. So there's a lot there.
Wow. So it's Reiki.org. And again, you've been at this for a long time with the website, like for over 26 years or more, I would say.
Yeah, you just keep doing something and it adds up, over time. So
yes, definitely.
Mm-hmm.
And now let's get back to that point. I really do believe this as well. It doesn't your belief system have so much also with energy? Like if you're hard-headed, stubborn, and you don't believe it, it's not a catalyst, but it's like you're putting up walls, and all these barriers in front of you because you're just stupid and hard-headed, and and stubborn that you don't believe it. So, and basically that could be blocking again, which is interesting about Reiki that over surpasses that, But my flow of energy systems, I guess that also helps it. But I'm just theorizing here that if you're open-minded, open-hearted from your heart, and you at least say, you know what, it's coming from something higher, from love, and let me engulf this, let me absorb this, and from love, and open myself to it. Wouldn't that make even a more amplification of it?
Well, yeah, it would. And the thing is this, that when you're dealing with an energy that possesses higher consciousness, that energy always respects free will. Mm-hmm. So if a person doesn't want the energy, it's not going to affect them. If they want it, it just zooms right in and does all its healing work. So if a person is doubts, that Reiki works, or they're not interested, or they're prejudiced against it, and it's going to affect whether Reiki can actually help that person or not. But if the person believes in it and they accept it, they want it to happen, then it just zooms right in. So it always respects free will. If the person doesn't want it, it won't affect them. If they do, it just goes in and does its work. So free will is a very important aspect of higher consciousness.
Well, that's what, and again, everyone, I do recommend for people to look at the different videos that you've done, and very nicely and explained. And that was one of the interesting things that you said there about free will. That you have people that are just stubborn, hard, they don't believe in it. So you're saying that the higher consciousness knows that, and the higher consciousness, which is God, or whatever you want to call it, the universe, whatever, has given us free will. So if we choose not to accept it, then it cannot give it to us, correct? Exactly,
yeah. God has given us free will, and God respects free will. So God's guiding the Reiki energy, and so if the person doesn't want it, God says, "Okay, no problem. We won't, we won't do anything with you." We're not. It never forces anything on anyone. It always has to get, permission. So, that's the aspect. God, I think in God's wisdom, he or she, but understands that in order to progress, evolve, we have to make decisions, and we have to decide to do it on our own. It can't be forced on us. So that's one of the aspects of higher consciousness is free will. We're always respecting free will, and that allows people to choose to progress, evolve, and grow.
Mm-hmm. Because it's interesting, William, that here in New York and out in California and all, and throughout the country and throughout the world, there's a lot of health fairs, and I myself, again, we go to the Roosevelt here in the hotel with the Health Expo and all, and which I will, recommend for people, to open up their minds and look at all these health expos, because there's you have your quacks sometimes, those places, but most of them are good. They have good, concepts there. And I see a lot of the Reiki, and the people there, and they're sitting there. Can you explain to people how it would work? How can you explain physically, and how do these instructors or these healers, how they work with Reiki?
Sure, yeah. Yeah, Reiki is actually a Japanese technique for stress reduction and relaxation that also promotes healing. Mm-hmm. It's administered through the hands, and there's a special energy that flows from the hands of the practitioner that we call Reiki, which is spiritually guided life force energy. And that energy will go into the person, surround them, flow through them. It's very soothing, relaxing. It's actually quite a unique experience. It's not just that the person relaxes, but this wonderful, warm, soothing energy flows around them and through them, and facilitates the relaxation. It also carries with it, emotional and mental concepts of love, peace, and joy, so the person feels safe, and it can heal on an emotional level. So if a person has anxiety or fear or shame or guilt or anything like that, it tends to release that, to dilute it and let it go, replacing it with confidence and a sense of self-worth and safety. So it can work on a lot of levels, and it facilitates the enhancement of the immune system and the body's natural defenses, and actually can cause them to work sometimes in what we call a supernatural way to create miracles, so that things that doctors say can't be healed, or someone's going to be dying soon, they recover miraculously, and medicine doctors can't really explain it. So it can work on a supernatural level.
Now, the reason why I asked that is that, again, when I've seen it then at the health shows, or if you've gone to a practitioner, basically a person sits on a table like a chiropractic table, a flat table. They lay down across, and then there's a chair, right? And then the Reiki healer is there with the hand extended, but not touching the person. It's just energy to energy, correct? Maybe a foot or so.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. Usually, what happens is they'll use a massage table or a chiropractic table, and the person is fully clothed and relaxed. They're on the table, and then the practitioner will sit at the head, but they can move around. But then they can lightly touch, or sometimes the hands are just about an inch or so away. They can do either one. And the energy just flows from the practitioner's hands into the person's body, and aura surrounds them, and there are positions around the head and shoulders, the abdomen, and the feet. And a session will take between 45 minutes to an hour and a half.
Wow. Now, I'm assuming that, again, it is letting go and being relaxed during the session. I'm assuming that, most people, again, they with touch and all, you don't want to touch people. But I'm assuming that if you let go and you let that healer, maybe touch you, I think that's more of a stronger bond. I would believe that. No?
Well, I think it depends on the individual, and some people like the touching, some don't, and I personally like it. It's a feeling of closeness, connections with another person. Correct. And, of course, that's a natural part of being human, is that we need to be touched. Babies that aren't touched actually die, and they need to be touched and held and so forth, and we continue to have that need, actually. So Reiki fulfills that when people are actually touching. Yeah, I believe that's just a political correctness. You got to stay an inch or a foot away. In some states, or there's laws and restrictions and things, and so they don't touch. But most states, though, you can actually touch. So I think you do need it, because again, like you said, perfectly right, with babies and stuff, they've really been showing people that, babies that were born and not touched, they get sick. A lot of them die. And the ones that have been touched and all that, like for closeness and love, they flourish. Isn't it the same thing, like if you look at even at animals, they're always with their babies and themselves, and chimpanzees and gorillas, they groom each other, Isn't that part of touching? Grooming, and they're licking them and, caressing them and all that, and it stimulates their immune system and helps them to feel wanted, and that there's a place for them in the world, and that they're cared for and so forth, and that helps them to grow and develop. Yes. So again, I'm believing that if you just let go and believe in this, and the person that's doing the Reiki to you, all they're doing is just becoming a transmitter, that they just transmitted from the higher consciousness or the universe or God, and then you're allowing it. It could be pretty amazing and pretty incredible and miracle, no? Have you seen that? Absolutely. Sure, yeah. There are higher and higher frequencies of Reiki too, and so it depends on the development of the practitioner, and it's possible to actually go even higher and have more miraculous things take place. So it is actually, Reiki can actually be a spiritual path.
Okay.
The path of the healer, and it's a matter of continually refining one's own energy so that you can receive higher frequencies and transmit them.
Now, you mentioned that in Reiki there's different levels. Can you talk about that?
Yeah,
like Reiki
in the usual practice, there's level 1. In level 1, you receive the ability to actually do Reiki. And one of the really interesting things about Reiki is that you don't learn it in the usual way that you would learn something. As an example, in some types of healing and learning anything really, usually what happens is you've got a teacher and you begin and you can't really do it very well at first, and then over a matter of weeks and months and years sometimes, eventually you become good and you can do it. But with Reiki, it's completely different. In the class, which can be just 1 or 2 days, you receive what's called an attunement. And the attunement actually transmits or opens up or turns on the student's ability to do Reiki. So immediately after receiving the attunement, you have the ability. So that's really quite remarkable. And it's a gift. So very apparently, it's a gift. It's not something the individual develops. So it helps to keep the ego out. So if you were to take years to develop something, the ego starts to get entwined with it. But with Reiki, it's very apparent. It's strictly a gift. And so after the attunement, the person can do Reiki, and that's level 1. Level 2, there's another attunement, and this one will enhance the person's Reiki energy, making it stronger, but also it activates 3 symbols. And these symbols are used to modulate the frequencies of Reiki to do different things. The first symbol actually increases the strength of the Reiki, the effectiveness by using that symbol. The second one is for emotional and mental healing. And the third one is to be able to actually send Reiki at a distance. So with second level, you can send it at a distance to people. They can be in another part of the town or city you live in, or another state or another part of the world. There's no limit. You can just send it as far as you need to, and it's just like you're in the presence of the person receives the Reiki.
It could be on the other side. It could be on the other side of the galaxy.
Yeah, I suppose it could. Yeah. So no distance is too great for Reiki. It's from level 2. Then after that, there's something called the Advanced Reiki Training, and in that one, the person will get what we call the Master Symbol, which is a more powerful symbol, and they get an upgrade to their energy again. So then they can become master practitioners at that level. And then beyond that, there's the actual master class where you become a Reiki teacher. And there are other attunements for that and other symbols. And the person is able to actually do attunements and to teach classes.
Wow. That's really amazing. So it's you opening up, again, free will and accepting this gift from the universe or God.
That's it. Yeah, it's a gift, and it's a matter of surrendering, opening up. It's not based on the ego, not based on anything the person does. It's just a gift, and so you need to be willing to receive it. But then in the class there is the attunement, and you have an experience. Sometimes people feel relaxed and calm, but other times people will actually see colors or energy shapes. They'll sometimes see angels or spiritual beings or beams of light, things like that during the attunement. So the attunement itself can be very healing and quite a dramatic experience for some people.
So the attunement, like you're calling it could be like a detoxification of that part of your spiritual self to cleanse out, and then you can, I look at it as being like a receiver, like an antenna. Yeah,
that's it. It's a 2-part, just like you're saying. It's a releasing of toxins, and then creating the space for the Reiki to exist in the person, and then the actual Reiki connecting up. So once you've got that attunement, whenever you put your hands on a person with the intention of doing Reiki, it just flows all by itself. So when you do Reiki, there's no meditation required. You just put your hands on the person, it starts flowing, and it more or less knows where to go, what to do, but there are different hand positions, and also there's a method we call Biosin scanning, where you scan the person with your hand, and you're shown where the person needs Reiki, and then you place your hands there. So the energy is guiding where the hands go, and the energy is also guiding the energy once it enters the person's body.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting. It's like I look at it as an antenna, and an antenna, you have your antenna. I remember the old radios, you had to go look around for the right thing to get the right signal. You got to move around.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
So if you were, let's say, under a mountain, you couldn't get the right signal, just like we do right now with a cell phone. If you're, underneath the mountain and the radio signal is going above the mountain, you can't get the signal. So what's interesting with this, then, William, would be that if you accept this and you allow it and you believe in it, because it's free will, I think God would say, okay, he gets rid of the mountain.
Yeah, that's a good metaphor. Sure, there's a mountain. Some people have mountains. Some people have hills. Some people have mist and dark clouds and, things like that. And it clears them out, and then you got this clear channel, and it just stays there. And basically, once you get the attunement, you'll have it the rest of your life. Yeah. So it's quite amazing, and it's very easy to learn. Like I say, in a day or 2 days, you can learn how to do it. It's very simple.
Wow. And again, it's just, your free will accepting this in your mind like a catalyst, just like you have a match and gasoline. The gasoline, if you don't touch it with the match, ain't going to blow up. It's just going to stay there. But as soon as you believe in it, you put the match to the gasoline, then it does the explosion. And now you have, this incredible connection to the higher consciousness, the higher God. And
that's right.
And that's pretty incredible. So the atonement, like you're saying, is just you accepting it, and then you becoming that vehicle, that transmitter.
Exactly. It's required that you get it in a class with a Reiki teacher, of course, because they've been empowered to actually pass on the attunements.
Correct.
Yep.
Wow, that's really amazing. And the part that I like about it is that even if you believe in it or not, it's going to help you.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, if you don't want it, it's not going to help you. But if you're neutral, you're wondering, but you don't really believe in it one way or the other, it's still going to help you.
Yeah, it's still going to help you.
Yep.
So but the most incredible thing is that if you truly open up your heart, and what do you got to lose if your whole life is going to hell? Might as well believe in something and let the higher conscious, through that person, Reiki person, being a conduit and putting the energy back into you. Then what do you got to lose? And that's what's incredible about it.
Yeah, really. Yeah, it's just opening up and receiving.
Yeah. You know what? Like again, we're up to almost the end of our show here, William. Can you please tell us about your website again so people can go to it?
Yeah, sure. Our main website is Reiki.org. 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 Very simple. And like I'm saying, it's just filled with free downloads. There's over 300, 400 articles on the site. They're all very interesting. There's also Reiki manuals you can purchase if you're going to you want to learn about Reiki. There's some books there you can buy. And there are classes to take, and we have also our membership association, and that has 2,800 members, and they're authorized to teach and conduct Reiki sessions. They're qualified, and there's a code of ethics and standards of practice that they make use of. So we also have a research center where we've got 7 PhD qualified researchers that are actually studying Reiki. And so there's a lot there. There's the magazine as well. So Reiki.org, Reiki.org, Reiki.org. Just go there, and you'll see all of our resources. There's a frequently asked questions section that you probably read that.
All right.
And that will help you understand Reiki.
Thank you so much for your time, Reiki. Again, William, thank you so much for your time. Great show.
You're welcome.
And we'll see you again. Thank you, everyone.
Okay. All right, Alex. Take care.
Everyone, till next week, everyone.